Welcome to the first installment of No Cupcake Zone. Uh, it's not podcast, it's YouTube Live. Man, I've been trying to learn how to do this YouTube Live thing, but it's the first time I've done it. But anyways, man, I'm testing out this keyword, so don't kill me. All you Dr. Umar fans and Tariq fans, and I just want to ask a question, because there's a whole bunch of people making videos out there about this whole topic right here about Umar Johnson versus Tariq Nasheed. Let me first say this. I'm not in the conscious community. I'm not a leader of conscious community. I just a person that's been watching both of them, and I appreciate the game that both of them have gave to us. And right now, what I see is a tribal conflict. There's a lot of people taking sides, and I'm not taking any side at all. I mean, if you were to give me a choice of who I would listen to more, I'd probably go with Tariq Nasheed. But Umar Johnson gives some tremendous information. A lot of relevant information, and also Tariq. To me, I break this down to two people. Every class of people, you always have the warrior class. I mean, you have the warriors, and then you have the the beta males, or whatever you want to call it. But these two guys are the alpha, or the warrior class. And that's something that when I was watching Hidden Colors, KRS-One brought that up. Is one way you kill people, kill a society or a group or a tribe or whatever you want to call it, is you wipe out the warrior class. You get the warrior class to either wipe out each other, or you wipe them out. And these two guys are they're warriors. I'm saying they're warriors. They represent our community. I think exceptionally from the information. And we just have two people that don't see eye to eye. It looks like at a time they did see eye to eye with each other. Hold on, let me open up this chat link. Man. Anyways, I don't got no. But anyways, these two guys are they're warriors, man. And you got to take it for what it is. That's why a lot of times people have to, talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? In the community. I was watching Umar video, his video chat, and it looked like he had a whole bunch of pent up stuff that he wanted to say, and he probably never came to Tariq and said it. And also Tariq had a whole bunch of pent up things. What I really don't like about that is, people taking sides. It's just like two people like in the schoolyard when we were kids. They don't like each other, but let them fight it out. And usually what ends up happening is they shake hands and saying call it for what it is. But now what we have in this conscious community, quote unquote conscious community, it looks like you have a whole bunch of people on the sideline taking sides. Even when you're watching the videos, you've seen a whole bunch of information from the sideline being revealed. Now you got two sides fighting, and then you have you got Dr. Boyce Watkins even in it, which I respect him. I respect all three guys. So I don't have any disparaging things to say to it, but I was just thinking about, Willie Lynch, how they, how to keep people enslaved. You divide them and you can conquer them. We got two tribes right now going at it, and we have a third tribe going at it. We got allies, and I'm not going to take that whole thing of, oh, can't we just all get along thing, whatever. We don't always have to get along, but you also have to look at how the ruling class operates, and why are they the ruling class? Looks like to me that, you know, no matter what happens, they have a united front. They can come to a disagreement, and it doesn't have to be fisticuff. What I want to know, what I really want to know is just, how can we fix that, man? How can we fix that? You know, there's a whole bunch of people on, you know, online right now making videos, kind of capitalizing off of this conflict. And you know what? People got to be honest with yourself. You guys wanted to see this. You wanted to see Tariq Nasheed versus Umar Johnson. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted to see it too. You know, it's two warriors. You know, it's just like when you watch football, you want to see Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. It's something that's innate in us, but you know what? We got to look at the bigger picture. You don't necessarily have to choose sides. You just have to learn from this. And one of the things that you have to also learn too, these guys, although they give you, you know, a lot of information, they're, you know, in the quote unquote, you know, conscious community. They keep us conscious, but you also have to understand the entertainment part of it too. These guys are both orators, but I mean, I'm not saying that they're, you know, shucking and jiving or whatever like that, but they're both entertainers. So, and they both have brands. So just like if Samsung goes and shits on Apple's brand, Apple's going to have to say something back. You know, that's just what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they still represent, you know, the electronic community. You know, they still represent that. So they could be at, they're never at odds with each other. You know, it's like a healthy competition, you know, and it seems like, you know, within this little small community, every time you have these conflicts, that it becomes something else. It's mainly from the people on the sideline. You know what? Just let these guys, you know, say their piece. I mean, hopefully they can come to a peaceful resolution. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, all this rah-rah stuff. Hey, but, you know, like I just, to anything, you know, Tariq, my advice to Umar Johnson is you probably should tread lightly, because, you know, he has, you know, a tremendous following. And one thing about his following is they're very fanatical. You know what? You know, they ride for Tariq, man. And you know what? Rightfully so, because he, you know, he puts inconsistent content. So does Umar Johnson. You know, I know his tribe, you know, the same thing with Tariq, is you don't have to divide, you know, the audience. You don't have to divide the audience. You know what? We can make it to where everybody doesn't have to take sides. You know what I'm saying? They're both, you know, great individuals. You know, they're both great individuals, and just leave it at that. I just hate to see this whole divide. Is just kind of, you know, people taking sides and stuff. I can't stand that. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's enjoy it for what it is. You know, when Sugar Ray Leonard fought Marvin Hagler, you know, and it was a great fight. It was a great fight, and you know, and you got to appreciate their style. You have the conscious, ultra, the over intellectual guy in Umar Johnson, and then you have the intellectual but witty, you know, business minded Tariq. And on the outside looking in, we can take great. This can be like a learning experience for everybody. And one thing you got to give your hats off to Tariq. You know, a lot of people say that he's a hustler and he's, you know, this, whatever, but his grind is relentless. His grind is relentless. Huh? I'll be right there. His grind is relentless. You can't say that his grind is not relentless. You can't say that about Umar Johnson too. Their grind is relentless. So what I'm saying is you gotta look at this as a good thing, as a good thing. You know, there's a lot of distinction within this community, but you need that. You need that. You need that. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron. These are two titans of this community. And you also have to keep it in perspective. These guys, you know, by the, I guess, by people were anointed leaders, which they are leaders in the conscious community. No matter how you like it, they're information leaders. You know, a good person that I listen to all the time is the host of Black Entrepreneur podcast. His name is Jay Jones. You got to look at it from all angles, man. You got media, which, you know, they are in the media, information leader, but you also have politicians. You also have, you know, technology and all those type of things. And those are the titans in the media industry. You know, Roland Martin, you have Tariq Nasheed, you got Umar Johnson, you got Charlemagne, you got a whole bunch of people. You even got Don Lemon, you got Sotomayor, you got all these guys, you got Starr and all those guys. Those guys within that genre are the warrior class. And the reason that they are, you know, so famous and they got such a name out there is they bring a lot of consistency and they believe in what they say. You know what? They're going to stand up for what they think about. Like somebody like me, one of those guys can probably crush my YouTube channel just because I don't have the clout that they have, and I don't have the confidence yet that they have. But you know, they have a following. They have you know, the financial resources. They have all those things, and you got to respect that about all of them. And Boyce Watkins too. I forgot him. He's the, you know, he's the financial guy. But all I'm saying is you guys let them fight it out, man. Take sides if you want to, man. But at the end of the day, long as we have that common vision, and I hate the Willie Lynch, you know, part of it. I hope it doesn't come to that where everybody is so divided that they can't come to a common ground. Maybe in a year or so, man, we'll have Hidden Colors 5 or whatever movie, and you'll have all three of them. Or maybe you'll have a round tree, a round table with both of them. You don't know what's going to happen, man. I figure the thing is, and it's just like everything, man, just like the hood. And I've said this before. A lot of times people end up having problems with each other because they don't talk to each other. You know what? And social media is a bad. I mean, it's bad at this. You know, because everybody it's like a world star hip hop culture. You know, what's the name said this? What's the name said that? You know, and what's the name? You know, Dr. Umar went on online, and you know, he had a video, and next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of people reposting the video, and you know, there's a bunch of hyperbole there. And if to Tariq's thing, if you see a whole bunch of hyperbole and you see a whole bunch of comments and somebody is slandering your name or whatever, you're going to come out guns a-blazing. You know, you're going to come out guns a-blazing and you're going to say your part, and, you know, you're going to defend yourself. But what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a whole bunch of people on the sideline selling a whole bunch of wolf tickets. Then next thing you know, the two tribes are at odds with each other. And then you go to probably a conscious vent. Who are you? Are you a Umar guy or are you a Tariq guy? If I walk in there, I'm gonna be like both, man. Both those brothers, give us tremendous amount of information, and they are who they are, and they're titans, they're part of the warrior class. It just like in the other society, you have Donald Trump, and and you got Bob Corker. Donald Trump and Bob Corker say things to each other. Look, at the end of the day, man, they got a tax bill, and Bob Corker ended up getting a big present from Donald Trump. You know what? It was very contentious in the media. It was very contentious in the media, but at the end of the day, how many people on both sides did you really see trashing each other? I mean, you didn't see that much. I mean, they could have did it behind the scenes. That's the whole disheartening thing about it is it could have been just one video, one response. Now you got probably 1,000 videos. Well, look at I'm used to this YouTube thing, so I'm trying to get my viewership up. But that's why I put the title. I mean, it's a popular keyword. Now you're gonna have a lot of people gaining from this conflict, and they put their spin on it. And I've seen a couple videos where people put this soundbite and that soundbite, and next thing you know, it's like it's Colin McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. But both these guys are Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion. And I don't know if it's going to be. It might be for the greater good. It might be for the greater good. One of the things that annoys me is you have the dominant society, and that's a Tariq word that I always take because I listen to a lot of this podcast, so I give him props for that. And then you have the coons, and then you got the straight up white supremacists. They're loving this right now. They're loving this right now because they can look at you and be like, "Told you so." You niggas can't get this shit together. You guys can't get this shit. Look at you guys fighting. Hey, you know what? That's the part that really gets on my nerves. But I mean, it's at the end of the day, you're a man first. If somebody comes on my front porch and pisses on it, shit, I'm going right to their front porch and I might take a shit on it. It's saying back and forth. That's just what it is. I mean, that's part of just being, I guess you want to call it male masculinity or whatever you want to call it, but that's just part of being a man. Oh man, there's so many things, and you also have in the hip hop community. Now you have some back and forths with and it's kind of like the same thing, which is kind of crazy. It's like you got Charlemagne, and then you got DJ Academics, and you got Joe Buttons, where it's kind of the same thing. So you got Academics, which is the Umar Johnson, and then you got Charlemagne, who is like the Tariq Nasheed, and then you have Joe Buttons, who is like what do you call it, Dr. Boys Watkins, because I see Joe Buttons as like the hip hop purist, and then you got Charlemagne, who is kind of the hip hop purist, but he's everything. He's the guy. He's the guy on top. But then you have the Academics, who is the Umar Johnson, very, I guess, intellectual or whatever, and he is the up and coming person or whatever. But if you let him talk about it, he's already there. If you hear Umar talk about it, he's already there. He's the king shit. And that is kind of disheartening too, because I never heard, Tariq say anything disparaging about Umar Johnson. I never heard Charlemagne say anything really disparaging about Academics, other than I guess you can read in between the lines on, a little bit of, you still my son, type thing, and I don't think a lot of people are trying to say Charlemagne does have this agenda. He was going to break up what do you call it, everyday struggle. if anything, it sounded like he tried to help them out. I mean, if you let him tell it, he tried to help them out. He tried to help them expand their platform. And you know what? Actions speak louder than words, because you can tell that was the case. Because if you look at how many times Charlemagne was on Joe Budden's show, how many times Academics was on, he was on the Brilliant Idiot show. So if he was really trying to sabotage them, do you really think that he would give those guys a platform? No, he wouldn't. That's if he's just your enemy or whatever. But hey, you know what? The 48 laws of power. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I'm not gonna get into it. I don't got my notes ready yet, but man, this thing is so annoying right here, man. But it's just funny, like this week, because these people are like, people in the media, as far as entertainment and information that I listen to all the time, and they're having at it. And I just think that you don't have to pick a side, man. You can be on the outside and enjoy the information that they're giving. And then you got to let the warrior class fight it out. You just got to let them fight it out. And, eventually they're probably going to, shake hands and call it a day. If anything, it's going to make the competition better. I mean, iron sharpens iron. It's going to make the competition better, man. You know what? This feud right here that we call every time, Umar, goes in and does a lecture and stuff like that. People are going to be waiting on the edge of their seats to see if he's going to address the situation. So, you know what? Big up to that guy. Maybe he's going to get more additional resources just from this to do something else, and he might get into films, what I'm saying, just because he wants to win, the competition, whatever. And Tariq, he starts going on tour too. Hey, the Coon Awards is going to be, off the chain this year. He can definitely, bring that. He says, was it a rising tide, rises all ships. So, hey, that might be a thing right there. But anyways, man, you guys have a happy new year, man. This is technically my first live show. I don't have that many live people in the chat rooms. I'm still trying to learn the marketing part of this and trying to get my viewership up. I have a podcast called No Cupcake Zone. The podcast is, I thought it was highly successful for my first podcast. I didn't put the resources into it like I needed to put the resources into it, but hopefully this YouTube things, because there's and I think I got some information to give to the public. But on a lighter note, man, I've been on here talking enough. I gotta get dinner ready, get my little boy ready. But anyways, man, you guys have a blessed New Year's, man. And shout out to Tariq, man. Shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. Shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins, man. Keep doing your thing. Keep fighting the fight, man. And keep giving us that information, man. And shout out to Roland Martin, man. Shout out to Dr. Polite. I don't really listen to those Sinetta and all those guys. Dennis Kimbrough. I can go on and on. Jay Jones, people just keep giving that information, man. If a couple of us want to get in the ring and get in the tussle, so be it, man. That's what it is, man. But look at the overall picture. Iron sharpens iron, man. I'll let your boy, man.